This is Kugan Cassius for IFL TV in association with MTK Global with the final press conference here for Heavy Duty, and on Saturday night it will be Heavy Duty.
It will be. The heavies are going to be there. Brand new heavies.
Brand new heavies. Dubois-Gorman and obviously Joyce Jennings amongst the crop of the undercard.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a cracking show.
Frank, let's talk about Dubois-Gorman. Again, obviously we spoke about this when the fight was announced. A little surprise to people the fight was happening now, but we're 2 days away from it now, and it's on.
Can't change it.
Not like we can do now.
I've got to be honest with you. I still think it's too soon, but it is what it is, and nothing I can do about that. The fight's on. It's a major crossroads for both of them.
How does that work then, Frank? I mean, if Dubois saying he wants it, Gorman saying he wants it, but you feel like it's too soon. Does that overrule what you want?
I think it would have been bigger as far as the public's awareness is concerned, because they needed a bit more. They still need a bit more building up as fighters. They're not. They're well known in the trade, but it's the crossover audience that we're looking for, the bigger audience. That takes a bit of time, but there's nothing we can do about that. It's not like the guys coming in off of Olympic wins or something like that, where they're well known to the public, or one of them's well known. But they're, as you know, in the trade, they're highly respected heavyweights. They're the new crop coming through, and obviously we're going to see I think a really good fight with these two.
A really intriguing fight is kind of the co-feature on this with Joe Joyce and Bryant Jennings. Just picking up on some comments that Tyson Fury made about this fight. He didn't believe it's a good idea for Joe Joyce to take this fight.
Well, they picked it. His management picked the fight. That's the fight they wanted, so that's what we've done. Joe said he wanted to be fast-tracked. He is being fast-tracked. He's got a wealth of experience as an amateur, world championships, silver medalist in the Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, etc. But he's only had, his 9 fights, is it?
So this will be his 10th fight?
Yeah, it's coming up to his 10th fight. This guy in Jennings has got a wealth of experience. He's slippery, he's fast. And you can look at you look at the guy who's ranked #1 in the world, Dillian Whyte, is fighting Riva, who he was fought last time out.
Yeah.
And Riva, he was well behind on all the judges' scoring on the cards until he got clipped in the last round. Jennings got clipped. So, if he don't get clipped, he wins the fight. So that's the level he's fighting at after 9 fights and going into his 10th fight. I think it's a tough fight for him. I really do. There are tough fights for all, for the 3 Brits on there. They're tough fights at this stage of their careers.
Obviously on the card as well, we've got Liam Williams, Sonny Edwards, Archie Sharp. Liam Williams making some interesting comments yesterday that he wants to fight Gennady Golovkin.
Why not? Why not? He needs a couple more fights, and who knows? We'll get him in the mix. He needs to get a name now. He needs a big name on his resume, and hopefully he comes through on Saturday, and we can work towards him getting that.
Frank, I will ask you, obviously we've got the tickets, Access.com behind you there. How the tickets gone, and has next week's show had an effect on the show this week, Frank?
No, I don't think it has. I think it is what it is. Our show. We set the hall out. We only set the hall out for 10,000 anyway. That's what it was. So we are where we are, and we're happy. And there's still some tickets to go, but we're happy. I don't think their show or our show affected each other. I just think that with our guys, they're not headline acts yet. They will be after this fight. That's why I wanted to do it later. Later rather than sooner. It is what it is. I hear they're struggling with their show for next week. I don't know if that's true, that is, but that's why.
Frank, I want to come on to Tyson Fury. There's so many stories coming out about Tyson and potentially his next fight, and obviously that the fight with Wilder has been signed for the 22nd of February next year, and he come out and said that on his tour himself. What can you tell us about that? How accurate actually is that? Well,
Tyson is going to fight in the autumn. You know that Wilder's fighting Ortiz, and hopefully, and I'm quite confident, they'll get it on. If they both win their respective fights, they'll get it on early in the new year.
But that date specifically of February the 22nd, is that one of the talked about dates, or is that the
it's
date?
Just the availability of venues and so forth. So there's a lot of detail to be sorted out before it gets to that.
Tyson's outlined, either Gerald Miller or Trevor Bryan for that date he's going to have.
He wants to fight an American.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, last time out he fought, it was an Englishman fighting a German in Vegas. He wants to fight an American. He'll get more interest. You know, they did good numbers on ESPN for the fight, but he wants to fight an American.
How realistic, though, with kind of Miller's current situation that it's
Well, I
Gerald
understand
Miller?
his ban finishes on the 19th of September, so I'm told. I don't know where he would get licensed, but he's, you know, it's a name in the hat at the moment.
And Trevor Bryan, is that obviously Tyson mentioned him the other day?
Well, he's pulling out names, isn't he? He definitely wants to fight an American, and he wants to fight late September, early October. That's what he wants, so we've got to deliver it for him.
Is that a stipulation from ESPN that he has to fight an American for his next fight?
No, it's just what he wants. And I'm sure they'd want that as well. Why wouldn't they? You know, you want to bring a German in or bring somebody from Italy or something. They want to have some domestic interest from their point of view on the card. And him and against the American would be fantastic. I mean, I don't know who's going to wear the stars and stripes and top hat if he does fight a Yank, but that would be great. I think that's what he needs to do.
Is it likely to go over to the East Coast with New York?
That's what the talks have been about, but nothing's been finalised at all yet.
When do you expect to kind of put a kind of stamp on that?
I would hope that's done fairly soon, within the next couple of weeks. I would hope that would be the case. You know, Tyson's going into training. He's going down to Spain with Billy Joe on Friday. I think they're both going down there to start training. So he's up and ready to go.
Okay. Frank, we saw obviously from your social media accounts that you put out that your offer for Billy Joe Saunders to fight Callum Smith was turned down.
Yeah, correct.
That
was it.
Officially
Just
getting the
wrote
ball
back,
out.
said to us-
Any reasonings given to why that was turned down?
Well, I heard that we made him an offer plus 50% after the guarantees are met, 50% between each fighter. He seems to think so, Joe Gallagher. So I heard, I didn't hear, I was reported, that he wanted more than 50% for Callum Smith, which is, you know, come on, let's be realistic about this. You know, they both bring something to the table. Bill's been around quite a bit. You know, he's when I say been around, I mean he's had a lot of TV fights. He's got a wealth of experience. He's a two-time world champion. They both bring equally to the table something. So to me, it just smells of Joe Gallagher doesn't want the fight, and that's it. He didn't even, from what I understand, he didn't even tell Callum about it. We sent the offer to Callum because Hearn was saying and Gallagher was saying that they never had any offer, and we sent the offer on the 6th of June. I think I showed it to you, didn't I? We've done it then.
Yeah.
It was there, but they finally acknowledged and admitted that they had the offer, because I think we embarrassed them into it, but they don't want to know.
Joe Gallagher was obviously alluding to the fact in an interview he'd done on Sky Sports that, like we were just talking about there, that the money wasn't good enough for that. So are you even contemplating...
We didn't even get to that. Look, first of all, you know, what is he saying Sky Sports for? Why is he telling us that? You know, what's that got to do? That's just bullshit, isn't it? I mean, that's just a complete cop-out. And by the way, there's only a pot of money. If you're saying here's the pot of money and it's the 50-50 split after the X's, that's what it is. That's what the deal is. So what can be wrong with that? We all think it's going to sell. We all think it's going to do good business. He thinks he's worth more money. But at the end of the day, whatever it generates, you're cutting it down the middle. So why wouldn't you take it? That's a no-brainer to me. I don't understand that. And he never come back to us with anything. You know, he never come back and said, "Oh, I need a bit more," or "Can we do this? Can we do that?" I've never even had a call from him. I got a couple of lines saying he didn't want the fight, and that was it. You know, that's what out. But he never wanted it. He don't want it. He's full of shit.
Billy Joe Saunders was in Kazakhstan, as we all know, over the weekend, and in an interview I did with him, just kind of finishing off on this situation, he kind of said, well, if that offer isn't good enough, we'll make an offer to us then. Well,
exactly. Make a counter offer or do something. You know, we want to put Bill in big fights. We've signed twice. Sound like an old broken record. Twice to fight Canelo. Just Bill signed the contracts. I signed the contracts. We sent them back. They didn't. We made an offer to Callum. We've been talking to Canelo's people. You know, we've tried every which way we can to make the fights and got Bill into a position. Worked very hard to get Bill in a position that he could fight for the super middleweight title when they all jumped up a weight to go and fight in that division. We did that, got him in a great position. He's got that belt. He's undefeated, you know. but it is what it is. The fights will come, they will happen. Those fights, one of those fights will happen. I'm very, very confident of that.
Coming back to Billy Joe, he arrived in Kazakhstan. He was there a day. The fans in Kazakhstan absolutely took to him. Well,
they're great boxing fans, aren't they? I mean, they love their boxing in Kazakhstan. I mean, I went there years ago, and it's a hotbed for boxing. Some great fighters come in here. And he basically went in the other guy's backyard, didn't he? Went into Triple G's backyard and said, "I'll fight you here." It's a bit of a call out, that, isn't it?
But we've been here before. I think 2 years ago, the fight nearly happened at the Expo over in Kazakhstan. That never happened, but.
Well, it weren't down to us. It's not one of the things you're saying was down to our side. We signed for no one can say, "Oh, we're saying we've got to put it on, we've got to promote it." The two fights with Golovkin, both of them was for them to promote the fights. We're joint promoters, but they promoted them, as you say, in Kazakhstan and the other one in the States. Neither of them happened. So we're not ducking out. Bill certainly doesn't duck out of fights. Be a fight in September.
Could it be mandatory?
Sorry?
Could it be Billy Joe's mandatory for the WBO?
I'm not sure we can do it, but he's going to fight in September and he'll have to fight somebody ranked in the top 10.
Will he fight in London?
That's the what we're looking at doing a show at the Copper Box.
Okay. But yeah, it was actually a quite good show over in Kazakhstan with MTK. Yeah, and like I said, they wouldn't leave Billy Joe alone all night. So.
Well, he's a great fighter, and he's got great. And what they like about him is he is a fighter. He'll fight anyone, no excuses.
Frank, one of the kind of talking points from this week is kind of this, like the online kind of dramas with Tyson and Dillian Whyte this week. I don't know how much of that you've seen.
I've seen the stuff that Dillian said, and I don't know Dillian that well. I've met him maybe once or twice. And obviously, I know Tyson. Step back and take all the bullshit out of it. Dillian Whyte fought Derek Chisora twice, and they were life and death fights. There was nothing in it. I thought Derek Chisora actually won at least one of them, if not both of them. There was nothing in it. Could have gone either way. Tyson Fury fought Derek Chisora twice. The first one, Derek. I think it's a similar position to what these guys are in there. I think they'd only had about 14 fights apiece. I'm not sure the amount, but it was a similar stage of their careers the first time. And Tyson won that. He won the fight. The second fight, Derek's coming off of a real good run of fights, a real good run, winning fights, beat some decent fighters, and then fought Tyson. And Tyson, and I thought Derek had a real good chance against him, but Tyson never lost a second of a round. He absolutely done a job on him. And, it's me who I went to the corner and said, pull him out. Because Derek was so far behind and he was just not in the fight at all. They could have stopped that much sooner rather than later. But the bottom line of it is, you look at that form line, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, it's just a no-brainer. Who would you have your money on? I'm not saying that Dillian's not a brave guy, but is he going to outbox Tyson Fury? Is he a bigger puncher than Tyson Fury? Has he got a better boxing brain than Tyson Fury? Is he younger than Tyson Fury? I don't know we keep calling out Tyson Fury. Why didn't he fight Joshua? Why didn't he go and see his promoter and tell him to get him in a fight? He's been sitting there for 600 days, scratching his balls, waiting for a shot for a title. What's happened with that? Oh, we're about Tyson. Now he wants to fight Tyson. Come on now.
Okay, have you got any other news you want to drop in here, Frank?
I'm just looking forward to this fight. I think I think Saturday night's going to be a bit special.
So is this kind of your last show before the summer? We know you're obviously BT again.
No, we're doing one in Belfast.
Belfast on the 3rd.
We're doing it on the 2nd of August.
3rd of August.
Sorry, 3rd of August. Yeah.
Yeah. With Michael Conlon, obviously. Yeah.
Michael's topping the bill there, so we're doing that one, and that's where we are.
So that'll be kind of the finale before the summer.
And we're going to be making an announcement about Anthony Yarde on Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to kind of finish up on that. There's just so many stories coming out about every day, literally.
Saturday, you will hear what's going on.
Okay. Could you give us an inkling if the fight's on or off?
I can give you an inkling that we're going to be making an announcement. Look, he wants to fight. He's my man, and he wants to fight badly. And he's trained hard for it for it to taken place on the 22nd of June. It didn't, and he's training hard. He wants it. He wants that fight. He wants to fight for the title, and he's got the balls to do it. And he said, "I'll go to Russia. I don't care where it is. I'll go and fight in his front room." That's what's happening. He wants to fight.
But it talks of Canelo and Kovalev.
Let's talk. Talk is cheap.
And offers being put in, etc., etc.
See, listen, they can talk as much as they like, all of them. Anthony Yarde is the mandatory challenger, #1, as ordered by the WBO. That, for any of this stuff to happen, Anthony Yarde has to agree to it. And I don't think he wants to agree to it. He wants his fight. For any of this to happen, if indeed it does happen. So all I care about is what Anthony Yarde wants. I don't care monkeys about any of the others. They can all do whatever they want to do. The bottom line is, he is the man. He's the man who fought and had the patience to work to get himself into the #1 spot. And that's where we are.
But the date of August the 24th, you cannot tell us anything whether...
On Saturday, I can't do that until Saturday. But the announcement will be on Saturday.
I was hoping you was going to forget what you just said there and then just answer that question, Frank. But you're too on it.
You can always live in hope.
Frank Warren, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we look forward to a great fight night at the O2 on Saturday.
Lovely. Thanks, Coop.
Cheers, Frank.
Cheers.